I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm super stoked. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like lost track of like watching a lot of people's results because of like the whole Moki thing. So
Yeah,
that was like
that's fair.
that was like so exciting. Like, because we've been working like we talked about it afterwards, and we were just like, as he was like, man, the up smash. He's like, man, I'm so glad I got better at up smashing people, and I was like, right, it's really good.
It's a good move. Yeah.
Yeah. But talk to me. How are you doing? How was your how was your don't park on the grass? Yeah, just tell me everything.
Yeah. I don't park was good. I mean, it was one of those tournaments where I lost to the people I was seeded to lose to and beat the people I was seeded to beat. So one of those like I don't know middle of the road tournaments, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I also had saving Mr. Lombardi since we last had a lesson,
Okay.
which was the same thing pretty much. I beat the people I was supposed to be and lost to Koopa and Nut, who I was supposed to lose to, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. So I feel like I've been playing fine. I feel like I could be playing better, but I'm not playing like super bad or anything. I don't know. It's very like
It's very
middle of the
stable.
road. Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So let me ask you, um, what do you think's missing right now?
Um, I don't know. That's a good question. I think I think I don't park. Um, I think I maybe could have like prepared better, like I guess like physically, like I kind of like didn't eat before my pool, which probably was a bad idea. I don't actually think it played that much of a role, but maybe a bit.
Okay.
And then at Lombardi, I feel like I don't know, I felt like I was playing okay, but I definitely have played better. Like last time I played Nut, it was game five, and I think it was last stock also, but that time I got like 3 0'd pretty solidly. And I think he was probably playing a lot better than our first time, but I also think I was playing a bit worse.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when I played Koopa, the last time I played him was like a year ago. It was actually my first time playing him. And that was a weird set because I won game one. And then game two was on Stadium, but then it started transforming and it was supposed to be frozen. But then we just played it out anyway. And then the game after it was a best of three set because it was just at a local. And then the game after that, I also like lost solidly. So this time it felt kind of the same where the games I lost pretty solidly, but I did win one game. Um, I don't know. I feel like yeah, at Lombardi I'm not as sure because I don't think stuff went super wrong, but I definitely think it still could have been better. I don't know.
Yeah. So, okay. So again, let's see here. So at Lombardi, so I'm just looking at the bracket here to kind of get a better sense of what's going on. So, talk to me about who Open Jamie is.
Oh, that's you sub God. He's a Marth player.
Okay.
And he's good. I think he's a little inactive now, but I was supposed to play against Rainy, who's a NorCal ranked Fox player,
Mm-hmm.
but she ended up losing to him. In like a small upset, I guess. So then I had to play against him. And I feel like that set, even though I won, I feel like I should have won harder, I guess. Like it was too close for comfort, I guess. Um,
Okay. So
but
what?
I mean, I think I'm still happy that I won because I know he is good. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Who's and what about what's the talk to me about Danny Phantom. So
Yeah,
because
so he's a Fox player, and he's good. I was looking at his results, and it seemed like he was like pretty good against Sheik from his results. I think he had some like close sets against J Salt and stuff like that. So going into it, I was kind of like not really like expecting myself to lose, but I felt like it would be an uphill battle. And game one, we started on Dreamland, which I don't know why I did that honestly, because I've been liking Yoshi's more, but I think I got like scared and thought that he would be, I don't know, good on Yoshi's for some reason. I guess I should have actually watched VODs. That might have helped. But so game one on Dreamland, I got three stocked, and it wasn't really close. And then game two on Yoshi's, I actually was doing really well and went up three stocks to one, but then he kind of just brought it all the way back and won like last stock, last hit, which was a little disappointing. So I don't know. I felt like I was actually playing really well in game two. Um, and I mean, I probably choked a bit, but I think he kind of just did the right stuff. And I don't know. And like after that, I had to play another Fox, and I thought I played well against him. So I don't know. I didn't think I was playing that bad in that set, honestly.
Okay. I mean, like, it is. Like, so Fox is the type of matchup where you can just kind of, like, lose it sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
like, I'm not saying that to be like, it's not possible. Like, I'm just saying that
No, yeah,
he's an explosive
I know what you
character with,
mean.
like, a lot of ways to win, and sometimes he just gets us, like, off guard. Like, obviously, we want to do our best. What about Anchovy? Anchovy is a peach, I think, right?
Yeah. Um, that set was a little frustrating.
Did they get, like, 8
Game
trillion
one,
stitches?
he did pull like he did pull a lot of stitches, but he only hit me with one of them. But that's still yeah. Okay, so game one, I restricted Dreamland, which I don't know. I because I banned FOD in FD, and Dreamland felt kind of fine, but I feel like I was keeping up with him really well, and then he just kind of ran away with, like the last two stocks, so I got two stocked. And then game two was on Battlefield, and I was actually up for a lot of the game, but then there was like one moment where I got down smashed like 60%, and then it kind of like completely like turned the tide, and then he like won a close game. And then game three, I went to Yoshi's, and I started as Sheik and was kind of getting a, not like owned, but I think I just kind of was losing the first stock, and I decided to go Zelda, which in my mind I had told myself not to do because I had seen that he is up lifetime by a lot against Rien. Like there was a tournament where Rien beat Aura and then lost to Anchovy like 3-0 after that. I was like, this guy's probably good at the matchup, but I don't know. I felt like on Yoshi's it still could have been doable, and I honestly think it was. Like it didn't feel that bad until there was a moment where I upbeat on stage and he just happened to pull a stitch right as I like landed, and then he just killed me with a stitch at like 60, and that kind of annoyed me. But I don't know. I probably should have stayed Chic, but it didn't feel like completely not doable. I don't know. I might have been like a little tilted, which is why I tried it, but I don't know. That was just a tough set, and I know he's good, so
You
I
know,
wasn't that bummed about it, but I felt like definitely could have done better. Yeah.
I feel, maybe I'm out of line here, but I get the distinct impression that a lot of your sets are not being decided. Like, would I be out of line for suggesting that, like, it's more about, to some degree, it might be more about how we keep your head in the game as opposed to something technical about like that's missing? Like, do you think that this might be a mentality thing, or do you think that this is like more of a matchup thing?
Um, it could be a mentality thing. I think it's probably both, which I guess is like a boring answer, but
I mean,
I
like, it's
mean,
usually a bit of column A, a bit of column B, but like,
yeah,
this is why I'm asking. So like, explain your
yeah,
answer. Like, why
I
do you
guess
think it's a mix?
I guess I don't feel like my mentality is super bad, but maybe I just have like a more maybe I'm just not thinking about it correctly because I don't like rage or get like super depressed and stuff like that, but I do think I could.
But you just told me that
I
you might
guess
have
like
been
you said, like
tilted.
yeah, I don't know. I wasn't like that tilted. I guess I was maybe I a little bit. I think Peach. gets me a little more tilted than like pretty much every other character. But um,
So why is that?
yeah, um, that's a good question. I Part of it is just I get really annoyed by like RNG turnups. I just can't stand the mechanic, and I think it's really stupid. Um, and then I don't know. I just I feel like when I play the matchup, a lot of times what happens is I'm doing well. I'm like doing what I should be doing, and then one thing goes wrong, and then it just kind of completely shifts the tide of the entire game, and I think that's very frustrating to play against.
It's kind of
Um,
like being wobbled or some or chain grabbed or something,
yeah, or
right?
like Sheik Ditto changing up, but like in the Sheik Ditto, I don't get that way as much. I think that's just because I know I can do it to them. Whereas against Peach,
Hmm.
it's you can't just like you can't really just destroy them off one opening
Why not?
most of the time, at least. I mean, you can.
It's hard, but you
It's not the
can.
same though.
No, it
I don't
isn't
know.
the same.
Yeah.
What if? Well, how often would you say that you see like? How often would you say that like a Peach player destroys a Sheik off like one opening though?
Um, Not that much, but
No, let's find out. Let's explore this.
yeah. Okay.
Let's explore this concept. And wouldn't you know it, we have the best Sheik player, arguably, and the best Peach player who just played a set with each other at a recent tournament. So like, let's take a
Yeah.
look see, because I think that these two will probably be a little bit more authoritative on the
Yeah.
subject than I am. So, hand warmer clearly. So let's take a look at this. So we start on Battlefield. What do you think of Battlefield Strike?
I would love this as Sheik. I feel like I don't know why Trif wanted to start here, especially because FD's a starter in this rule set. But
So what do
yeah,
you
I
think?
don't
What
know.
do you think the strikes were?
I would guess that Trif banned Yoshi's and I don't know, maybe Fountain
Yoshi's
because he
and
wants space.
Fountain.
I don't know, but
Yeah. So then Jmook just gets rid of the big levels, and then he's like, "Yeah, we'll
yeah,
fight Battlefield."
yeah. So I know especially Trif is a very like campy player, so maybe he doesn't like Fountain. I don't know.
Yeah. So like, I want to point something out here. He just got hit by like Peach's most devastating move, and he got like Trif got basically nothing off it.
Yeah.
So like, why do you think that happened? Like, what was Jmook doing that like prevented him from getting blown up there?
Um. Well, he DI'd away. I guess I don't know.
Where does he
I mean, not
DI?
on the down tilt, but
So where does he DI the down tilt?
yeah, the down tilt doesn't get DI'd away. He pops like straight up, pretty much. Or, yeah.
Yeah, like from here he goes like, well, he goes like a little bit away. Like it's
Yeah.
not. It's like kind of like, yeah, I mean, like so he gets hit. Like it's a ground bounce, so it's like it should hit him like straight up like here. So he get DIs away on that, and then like gets hit away, DIs away. Like what if Peach had up air? Do you think that she can convert the up air to something here? If he holds away?
Um. I- Maybe, but probably not much, if anything. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think so, honestly. But
Yeah. So like holding away kind of deals with both follow ups.
yeah,
So then he just techs away, and then like she can't ever get this in time. So like what we're realizing is like using the stage dimensions effect. Like there's a reason to like put her into the corner that isn't just like an offensive reason. It also gives us the stage to DI her stuff, so we can like avoid things like this happening.
yeah.
Because like when
Yeah,
she's,
that's true. I guess.
mm-hmm.
I guess normally, like the scary thing about like corner your opponent is getting back thrown, which I think still is something to consider against Peach, but I don't know.
Her back throw is not nearly
feels
as
less
good.
bad. It feels less, yeah, way less bad than against like Fox or something.
Well, and that has to do with her height, right? Like her like her verticality. Like the thing is that like if we jump, Fox can like leap over us and onto us, and if we double jump, he
Yeah,
can like double jump after us. But Peach can't do the second part, so she only
yeah,
has her first jump to work with really, and her float which is good for like extending her range like at a height. But once we get over her, there's really not much she can do, and we can also she's also pretty heavily committed to the direction she's facing.
Yeah.
So like grabbing the edge if she's facing forward, like that's usually like very strong. So it's like there's like a lot of things I think that go on here when it comes to that. I think what's scary is that like if we get down smashed off, but like even that's DI-able. Like we can DI down on one hit, through her on the second, and like fling across the stage on the next one. Like that's a common defense mechanism since the dawn of time. And then realistically, does she want to be like down smashing like over and over and over again in the corner? Not really. That's so like laggy. It's so punishable. We'll just keep slapping her and grabbing her and like hitting her. So I think there's a lot that goes on in this matchup that like is good for the Sheik. Like this is not any like the fact that Peach can't get a like in this recovery to me is so good because he gets hit here and it looks like Trif covers him doing something aggressively, but then because he's fallen down so much without using his jump, he can actually just like sweet spot the ledge here. And then, like, he's totally fine.
Yeah.
I agree with you, like, a lot of these things, like, I remember in the past it would be possible to get, like, more follow-ups on, like, the down throw stuff against her. So, like, the not blowing up, like, on a hit, like, I totally get that. But, like, man... Look at how tough this edge guard is on her. Like, she gets this, she goes off, she drops the turnip, she comes up, and because he's, like, stalled so effectively off stage, this, like, you see how he's using the up B here, right? Like, it's kind of like hitting, like, attacking where he is. So if he stands up and he's, like, and he's not intangible when he gets up, he gets hit. Like, if he's mistimed this even, like, slightly, he gets hit by this and loses it. So he rolls to, like, protect himself. But then because of that, he can't, like, actually punish he can't punish the up B.
Yeah.
Great double back air. Great back air shark. And, like, this is where, like, where Peach starts to, like, feel like a bad character. Like, this is where the Peach player starts to be like, man, uh-oh. And the thing is, like, she's not, like, she hasn't solved the problem just because she's, like, on the ledge. And he doesn't, like, get it there, but, like, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
So what are we learning from this?
Well, I guess learning that... I feel like the thing about... I feel like my recoveries probably are kind of bad now that I'm like thinking about it, because I feel like when I get like blown up and like die, it's like I get down smash for a bunch of percent and then get off stage and then I get like just edge guarded over and over again and die, and I feel like that's probably shouldn't be happening. Like even if I do get down smashed, you know, I don't know, and I think that what you're saying is definitely true. Where like if she's in spots where she has to like go to the ledge, then it's also really bad for her, and like you can ledge trap and kind of, you know, just do a similar thing where you're not like rinse and repeat edge guarding, but you're just hitting her off stage over and over again.
Yeah, like this, because this
it's really hard to get out. Yeah,
like this looks miserable because like as soon as like what's the play here? Because like by holding the turnip, even if Trif goes to the ledge and Jmook up B's to the platform, he still has to get rid of the turnip on his way up, like while he's like for the edge guard. Like this isn't a straightforward edge guard at all.
Yeah.
And you can see like Jmook gets a lot of like mileage out of survivability. I'd argue he like actually misplayed here by not recovering onto the edge.
Yeah.
Like I think he tried to, but I think he messed it up. Like, but there's like a lot of so let's actually break this down. So how is he doing some of these recoveries? I feel like a big part of it is he's representing the hit on the up B itself.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that in mind, how would you say he's doing it?
Um,
Like, I don't even know if this is necessarily the shot we want. Like, is it maybe it's over here? Like, maybe it's like where when he starts the up B that we want. Like, so yeah, like from this position, this looks better. So from this position, what is the kind of the dynamic of the situation? We know that Peach is like holding a turnip and she's like floating around doing her Peach thing. So what does that
mm-hmm.
mean for like what we want to do?
Um,
It's okay.
That's a good
Reason.
question.
No. Reason it out. Think about this. This is okay. In the meantime, I will get our picture. I will get our people here.
All
So we
right.
have Peach here. We have Sheik down here. So let's start with Sheik because I think that let's start with Peach because I think it's good to start with the edge guarders so we can put ourselves in the position of like what they want to do. So what does Peach want to do here? She wants to hold the edge here. So she wants to go here at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what does she have to be? What does she have to be worried about with going there? Because she can't just like fall there and be invincible, right? Like she can't be like acting when she goes there. So what does she have to worry about? I think us coming up and slapping her is absolutely something she has to think about.
Yeah. Or like up airing or something.
I would say slapping. Like again, she's at 57. We're not really trying to combo
Yeah.
her. This is all about hitbox dominance, and Fair is better at that. So like,
Yeah.
so here we have like possible Fair. This is something that she has to worry about, and then from her end, she wants to edge hog. Cool. So let's say that she decides to like put out a like what Trif does is he's like, okay, I don't love the idea of me falling to the edge and like getting hit, so I'm gonna put out my back air here because that is what he does. Like if we go back to the actual, if we play the situation out, that is absolutely what he winds up doing. So then what does Jmook do? Jmook, understanding that, he decides to do up B. And how does he do it? He places it like away from her, right? Like around here. So instead, he goes up B. So what happens here is the bear runs out. Jmook spaces the up B, which then has the hitbox go off over here. Because it's big. And then, what does it do? It hits him out of this, right? Because for Trif sees him, like, recovering, jumping up here, and doesn't realize it's the up B, because it's, like, all happening very fast. And, like, the double jump rings have already gone. So he's, like, moving his hurt box over here. He winds up getting hit by that up B. Because he's trying to, like, cover the jump, but then the jump doesn't actually come.
Yeah.
So like what Jmook is doing here is he's mixing up the fair versus the up B/jump. Because these two like exist. This like jump exists on like any of these directions. So what so like Jmook from here with the double jump rings, he's mixing up it like it's up B. It's an up B that's disguised as a jump. Because, like, he's gone over here, which makes it look like he's, like, just jumping to, like a slapper or outspacer. But it's an up B disguised as a jump. And then because of Peach's, like, in a difficulty, like, edge hogging here, and how he thinks that he's going to definitely come up and, like, swing here, but then it just doesn't happen. So, I think that this should be, like, a general idea of, like, what we're going for here. We're really trying to trick her here. Does that make, like, is that starting to make a little more sense?
Yeah.
Because it's not like he just, like, does this because it always works. It's just that, like, Trif has to decide whether, like, he can, like, it's not, I think what's hard about Peach in that spot is that she's so slow going up from, like, the ledge to the stage that if you just, like, go over her, like, if you just went over, like, Fox there, he just ledge hop back airs you. But Peach can't do that. So she has to get you, like, before you get above her.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
I see, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah. I think that happens to me a lot. I try to get over her and I just get hit out of that like a lot of the times because they know that
Yeah, they like hard cover it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I bet that's part of why it feels bad. Because it's like, when we get called out, when we know we're getting called out, even if it's just subconsciously, like, if we're like, man, that shouldn't have worked that way. Like, I
Hmm.
should have more counterplay here. Like, and we don't know it. I feel like those are the interactions that always feel fucking terrible. Because it's just like,
Yeah.
it's like, ah, I'm so, like, that's when we're like, oh, I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad at this matchup. Because it's like, we know that there's more going on, and we just aren't tapping into it.
Yeah. I feel that. Yeah. I think that's true.
Yeah, and like, look at how annoying that he's being about this. Like, Trif, like, to his credit, like, this is like, Trif like manages to like control this. So why is this one different? Let's figure this out. It's really like, okay, so he gets the forward throw off. It's the turnip, I think. The turnip is like the difference maker. Is that is that crazy? No, I don't think it is, because the turnip makes it so that Trif is not in danger of being hit out of the edge grab. Because
Yeah,
Jmook can't hit him with like the fair instead.
Yeah.
So then once Trif gets under him, it's GG's. But on the previous one, he could like challenge the edge grab. So then Jmook still had counterplay. But because he couldn't do that because of the turnip flying at him, because he has to interact with the turnip in some way, that's really the value of the turnip, isn't it? It's just like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. So that was actually like the most goated turnip. Like, that was like an Armada turnip. That was in like the league of like an Atom turnip, which is like crazy. I find that this is like a common game state that happens versus Peach. I don't know if you agree with that. Like this slapping shit. So like you get she's like coming at you with her, she's like doing her bullshit. I love the no fast fall here. This was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how he just goes all the way in, slaps the top of her like little peach head, and then like blocks on landing.
Yeah.
And then like gets another one, full drift, no fast fall. Like the entire focus is just on how do I avoid. Actually, maybe after hitting her, maybe a little bit. No, same rate. This is the same speed. Just everything is focused on like, I don't want to get hit by you. Pushes her out of the way, gets the next grab, and then converts for like a 3-piece. Now, granted, that should have been a back air, and I'm pretty sure that's what he meant to do, or like a short up fair,
Yeah.
but it is what it is. And then now he's doing this. This is disgusting. That like down air to shield to cover the roll. Like that's some like big brain Sheik main shit if I've ever seen it. This is where Sheik runs away with the game. I say that as like Trif like hits him, and I'm like holding my breath, being like, "Oh God, is this where he comes back?" But like the thing is, it's hard for her. Like here's where I think the combo game is hard for her, because you see how like her launchers when we're at a wrong percent or position for her to combo off them. Like you see how it just kind of puts us into the same position we want to be in anyway.
Yeah.
Like we just come down at like the diagonal angle that we want for fighting. And it's like, oh, that sucks. That's unfortunate. Great down smash. Love that. I also want to point, like, look at how he, like, kind of, like, moves out of the way when she's coming down. This is, like, an important concept with Peach. So, like, in this position, I think it's really tempting for Sheik players to, like, come up straight here. But look at what happens. So Jmook actually doesn't commit to his fall until Trif stops moving forward. Like watch here, let's slow this down further and like watch closely here. You'll see what I mean. So watch the Peach and Sheik very carefully and tell me who stops moving first. Who makes the first move on on this part. You see what I mean? Like, it's the Peach.
Yeah.
So then, what do you think? So by waiting that extra time and playing chicken a little bit, I don't think this is a reaction. Maybe it is because Jake's cracked, but like, I could maybe believe it. Because like, how many frames is that? So he goes here. what happens? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, this is not a like hard reaction, but like I think that he's expecting this to happen, or like anticipating something like this might happen, because this is really like the dynamic. Like the dynamic of this situation is that you don't want to like you want to make sure that you are not letting Peach get on top of your head at all costs. Like no matter what happens here as the Sheik. Like, you don't want to go up into her like this, because if you do, when she's coming down like this, she can trade.
Yeah.
Like, this is absolutely, like, avoid. No. We don't want this. So, like, with that in mind, let's actually make this a different color so it's a little clearer. Get rid of this. Yeah, like, this red one is the no line. Like, we don't want to do this, because if we do this, then she's just going to land on top of us. Anything that's like we really want to make sure that we get past her afterwards, because our double jump is going to finish around here, like around this spot, like from here to here. This is where we're gonna finish. So if we go up here, we were just going into her path, but by going up here, we can then fast fall onto her as she's like still traveling, because we are ultimately the faster falling character. So that's really like the thing. Like that's really what's going on here. We're like preying on our false. We're like working our fall speed advantage to like be able to like go above her and then come down on her with our powerful legs. And like this, but if we go up with like this, trying to like beat her directly, like by the time as our leg comes out, we're not aligned. We're not aligned properly for any of it.
Yeah.
Because like she's here, yeah.
Like this happens to me a lot. I try to do this exact like bear and it either like trades or I just yeah,
but if we like, but as you can see, if we like do it over here going like this way, then like it changes the situation completely, because by doing it over here, we're then having our boot come out like this, and like that's what we want. And or we can also, if we don't get past her, we can also come down like here and get her like this on our way down. So like, which is what Jmook does. So like we don't want to like the red one is the one we want to avoid. We want to do the angled one so that we can still like keep our spacing. But the key here is we need to confirm, we need Peach to not be floating anymore. Like has to be done floating. Done floating.
Yeah.
The way that you make this work, if she's not done floating, is you still jump over this way anyway, but you just like do more of like a max distance thing, and you accept that like it's at that point it's more about boxing her in somewhere over behind the red line. Do you see what I mean? Because like,
I see,
yeah. So like that's the other half of it. Because the other like again, she's such an easy to ledge trap character. But Jmook correctly just does everything perfectly. Like Jmook like does everything the way that I would tell someone to in a textbook, and then he just like boom. So, how are you finding this? How are you finding this Peach video?
It's good, yeah. Sorry, I didn't.
I just want to make sure, like, this is your time, so I want to make sure that what we're doing is effective for you. So this is a temperature check.
This is. I already thought that that last part was very insightful and helpful about like how to deal with her like floating back like that, and I think this is a good use of time, because this is a matchup where I
hate
feel
this
like
matchup.
I don't even hate it that much, really. It's just a matchup that like tilts me sometimes, and I feel like I don't get a lot of great practice in this matchup. So I think doing lessons for like this matchup specifically is like a good use of my time. Yeah.
Sure. Let's look at this last stock, because I think that like I want to look at this, like I want to look at everything from here onwards, because I feel like how dire of a situation, like this situation I feel is very easy, where it's like, how often would you say you win this spot when you're both at like over 100?
Like me personally, or like
you?
How often should? Um, I don't know, honestly. I feel like I lose this a lot.
Okay, so let's start. Like, so let's have these two starting positions. You are a Sheik who's like standing here. Peach just finished pulling a turnip, or like Peach is pulling a turnip. What's going through your mind here? Like, what would you be doing here at this percent?
Um, Probably trying to grab. I don't know. That's
Okay.
I mean that's not. Yeah, I feel like that's what I would be trying to do.
I really like what Jmook does. I like the down tilt. Why do you think I like the down tilt?
Um, hmm,
So let's think about this from Peach's perspective for a second, which I know you, but like humor me.
yeah,
So like if we are running at Peach and as she's Peach is we're not gonna be able to directly hit Peach here before like
yeah,
because she's actionable here. So
yeah.
let's say that she thinks that we might be able to like hit her. How might she defend against this grab?
Um,
Throwing the turnip at us makes sense.
yeah.
So like the turnip travels in an arc, right?
I see. Yeah.
So like yeah,
the down tilt like crouches under the.
you sure bet it does. So like instead of being like we become this big, and then the turnip from the lovely and talented princess over here, who is like very tall and majestic, like it travels like this. Goes right over. It goes right over us, and then we hit her with our down tilt, pop her up, and then she goes unhappy. So that's one thing. What's another thing that she might do? Like, let's say that she's like, okay, so I don't want to do that because dying sucks, and yeah, valid. What about like Nair? Nair makes some amount of sense, like float cancel Nair.
Yeah.
But like she has to jump, which is like 5 frames. She has to float, which is another one. That her Nair takes 3 to come out. If she wants to do a sub float, that adds 2, I think. So like, whereas ours is like 1 to crouch, 5 to down tilt, 6. Like we're done.
Yeah.
So like we're out timing the shit out of her. And then this D tilt is checking 2 things, isn't it? Right? Like this D tilt is checking throw turnip. Like throw turnip. It's also checking what? FC Nair? No, FC Nair and subfloat Nair. Which we can add like as this. The subfloat Nair implies the existence of a dom float Nair. But I don't want to.
Exactly.
I shudder to think what that would look like.
There's a
switch float Nair. No, I'm kidding.
There's a player in my region named Subtails. Mm-hmm. And then there was another player in my region who would change his tag every month. And 1 month his name was Dom Heads. I thought that was really fun. And then they had to play each other in bracket.
Oh, who won?
Subtails did.
Oh, Subtails is good. Yeah, I know. I've heard the legends of him or them.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's so the point here is that like this down tilt is actually doing a really good job of checking things. One thing I also really like about it is that he doesn't necessarily on the turnip throw, because the turnip throw has, I wouldn't say a distinct animation, but like I feel like her like jump and stuff do like have a pretty prominent sound. I feel like you kind of have a bit of a reaction you can play here potentially, where you can like sit here. I don't know how real that is, but I do like that we're planning to low profile the deadly turnip. Like the turnip that's keeping us out. Like we're not even trying to interact with it. We're just trying to like go under it, pop her up, kill her.
Yeah.
I find what sometimes happens here if you go for something like jab instead is that we sometimes wind up catching the turnip. And while that's fine,
that does happen to me some. Or like I try to like, if I try like ledge dash F tilt sometimes, and I like, catch the turnip they throw at me. It's just like a weird thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so like this kind of like planting yourself here, like in a spot where the turnip can just go over you, I think is like quite good.
Hmm.
I don't know how much that factors into this particular situation, just because like everything's happening so fast. We're under a lot of pressure to do things too, because we're at 111. But like it
Yeah.
is a consideration. And the other nice thing is like it's like a very difficult move to like punish. So like
Yeah.
after she chucks it at us, like even when she gets out of the way, we don't exactly like instantly lose, you know.
Yeah.
So this is, which is also an attractive quality of a move versus any opponent. I also want to point out like how he defends against like this, because I feel like a lot of times people like freak out with like what they're supposed to do about this on shield interaction. But I really like how he just short hops back and just says, "Nope, I'm getting the fuck out of there."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really like. Yeah. I think I do that backflip a lot. I think that's like the one thing I spam. But yeah, I think it's good.
One thing I want to point out though, this only works because of how he threw the turnip. So if like this was if he was already in the air, this would not work. So if he's started like because he's throwing from this starting position, like this is his 1, and he threw the turnip, which is his 2, and then he goes like jumps over here for 3. That's why Sheik is able to get out of here, because if Peach is throwing this together like as one action, it's significant. Like we're like when this hits our shield is so much worse for us for being able to do something like this, and you see that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, cause yeah, I just realized like the diagram's a little screwy, but like you get the idea. Like we're here, this thing hits our shield, which occupies some of our time, and then so this would be like our 1. This hitting our shield occupies time, which is our 2, and then we jump back like this on our 3 as she's coming forward. That is why this is possible. But if she was doing these 2 together, like as in like these 2 are both occupying her 2, then that doesn't work. But it's because she's in place and then throwing this at us as her 2. That is why this is like, or this should be a 3. My bad. But you get the idea. Like it's and you can see how that's like a subtle distinction, but that's easy to like that is like it's easy to miss, but it changes the dynamic of the situation completely.
Yeah.
Because like if we don't know that, then like and then how do we get the win? How do we get the W? We down tilt her and kill her. Because she comes in with this fair, and look at how he like knowing that she's inactionable here, as she's like sliding forward, like she definitely can like move here, but then it's just like sweep, boom, boom, kablamo.
Yeah, that good down tilt. I do think I don't think I use down tilt
Ever?
near. Yeah, or like probably ever in this matchup. I think I get into like the kind of like brain rot mindset of like, oh, I can't crouch because what if I get down smashed, even if like it's not even a situation where that would happen. I don't know.
Well, the other thing here is
Yeah.
the other thing here is like, let's say you do get down smashed. Well, what if you just ASDI up? Like, what if you just like hit your sticks upwards? Like, it's not like taking 36 damage in down smash. Also, gorgeous punish. Like, can we comment on this? So like, why does okay, let's just close this down smash thought. So, down smash hits every 4 frames, but because of the amount of damage on the move, it also has like a pretty substantial chunk of hit lag, right? Like we can agree. It also has a pretty prominent sound effect. Cool. So with that in mind, I think that like being less afraid to get down smashed for the multi hit and just like being quick to DI up will actually do you a lot of good, because it'll let you like your crouch is actually really good against her. Like it ducks her grab, it ducks her jabs, it ducks like several, like it makes you tiny, so you're a way smaller target to aim at with her forward air. Like you're able to crouch cancel, like because of the hit lag reduction to the defender and like the floor hug effect, you're able to like crouch cancel punish a lot of her aerials, especially like the slightly higher ones. Like there's a lot of really, really powerful things that you get out of crouch canceling, and out of being small versus this character.
Yeah.
So, like, being good at those things and being good at recognizing and reacting to the fact that we're hit by her down smash and then DIing up, I think is a much better way of, like, going about the matchup. You can also, like, just, you know, crouch cancel into shield if you're not sure. And then, like, you will get your shield up before the multi-hit, like, chews through you because of the hit lag reduction to the defender. So, like, mechanically, you can get down smashed while holding shield. Like, if you're crouching and you, like, get hit by down smash and you hold shield immediately, you will also just not get multi-hit. Like, if executed correctly. If you don't get knocked over or anything.
Yeah. So,
and, like, at knockdown points, you can also sometimes OMS attack it anyway. So,
yeah.
I would say do not be afraid of that. I'm not gonna lie to you and say it won't backfire a couple times while you're learning it. Like it will.
Yeah.
There will be a few moments where you get 59'd and you feel really bad, and there's nothing we can do about that. But the power of having it in your arsenal, it will make it worth it. Now, let's talk about this F-tilt combo, because this was, like, disgusting, and I loved it. So, he gets this F-tilt. So, this up air obviously works, because, like, you could slap here, slap hits on 5, up air hits on 5, so, yeah, we're good. But it's the second one that I want to point out. Why do you think this second one works? Because, obviously, Trif is not in stun around here.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is it that Jmook's second up air connects? Without training. I think he's trying to nair, right? Like, we can agree on that?
Yeah.
So, I think there's... now, I need data this to know for sure, but I think what's happening here is... Trif is, unless I see rings, nope, no rings. I think Trif is trying to nair, but like with where Jmook's legs are positioned, the nair just doesn't come out in that spot on time.
I see.
So like, cause he's kind of underneath him, right?
That's crazy. Yeah.
But like, if we think about where Peach's arms are and like where the hitbox is, it's really like around here. It's around like kind of where her. It's at a slant, but like it's above and behind one shoulder and like below and in front of her. But, like, Jmook's legs are kind of, like, out of the way of both of those arms. So then he just gets this massive punish. Then challenges the float forward with, like, that. I don't love that nair in, but it's okay. These things happen. So that's, like, the type of edge guard that you're talking about, where it's like...
Yeah.
Okay. And you know what? I think it's important to recognize that happens even to Jmook. But, like, it's... I think what's, like, key here... Oh, my God. Did he just die again? No, okay. So he barely made it on. Look at how hard this is to edge guard.
Yeah.
So why do you think this is difficult? It's like she has to decide whether or not, like, she can't get like a good way of covering the ledge and the stage while like hogging the up options, right?
Yeah, I feel like she has to like, if she wants a really hard punish on stage, she has to pretty much give up ledge.
Yeah, this is kind of like the Leffen recovery, I think. The one that he talked about a long time ago, like the Ladondis like Leffen thing. Where it's like he's just like barely like he's almost close enough to be able to threaten to like explode, like to like poof her, which is great. Cuz it's like the poof hitbox is about here. So as he's moving into position, he's almost threatening to hit her. I don't know if he actually goes closer, but he doesn't. No, he moves out of the way. But by being over here, it's like, by being over here for his starting point, he's kind of able to do like three things. Like he can go straight up, kind of. Like he can go straight up and probably fall to the edge. He can go here on stage. Or he can do that weird like recover to edge thing. So he has like three... or he can go like slightly above the edge. So he has like on stage, fall, and then fall a lot, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's like there's three timings that are like being done here. Now, normally for a character versus Sheik here, what do? They just refresh, right?
Yeah.
They see Sheik here and they're like, okay, whatever, like double jump, grab edge, whatever, move on. Like, or like it's really more when she's down here, but like they see Sheik setting up this position and they either kick her for going here, drop down and shine her, or they spike her, or they refresh the edge. But Peach can't do any of those things.
Yeah.
So then she just has to decide how to stand up. So has to stand. Like, and you can see that like she has to stand or roll. So because of this, like, because like rolling will beat some of like this will beat the fall to the edge slowly and quickly and slowly, but not do this one. Standing will beat like either he takes a shitty punish on this while covering these, or he gets a good punish on this while covering this but leaves that. Like, there's no way to there's no way to cover it all, like, effectively. Yeah. So then Trif wisely takes the shitty punish here, but then like he has no way to cover the like double jump edge grab. So like it's kind of like Jmook has stopped the bleeding on the low percent. Like, I don't think it can be understated how bad of a weakness it is to not be able to gimp your opponent. And Sheik can't really be gimped all that well by Peach. So Jmook is like able to be like Jmook at low percents, like there's kind of like defensive reasons to have stage control or not have stage control, and I think what Jmook does a good job of is knowing like how to play off each one against her limitations. And now he's just vibing. And here we have that same thing again, because this is the same one that we first looked at, right?
Yeah.
Like, because he thinks like, okay, Jmook is obviously going to attack me for trying to like block off the ledge here, so I'm gonna put out my down air or back air or whatever it is, and then like stop him, and then Jmook is like, I'm gonna go into you and explode, and then you're gonna like lose your edge guard. And then I'm gonna reversal you and do like a bunch of damage with some standard throw combos. And needles. Just fucking shield grabs him. Oh my god. Like, that's amazing. What a chat. Oh my god. Okay. So this position. What are your thoughts on this position? Actually, we kind of covered this one. This is the same edge guarding one. This is the same thing I told you about. Like, except it's not that he double jumps inwards. It's just he falls inwards and then isolates Peach to this area.
Yeah.
It's just the red line in the
like what you're talking about, like walling them off.
Yeah, right? Exactly. It's just the red line from earlier.
Mm.
Oh, Jmook, thank you. Thank you for making my job easy. No, I love my job, but like you can see you can, and I want to point out the spacing as well. Like when he responds, look at how much room he's giving Trif, right? And how he's just like bonking him out of the top of his jump. I would say that like the way that he's doing the full screen here is like extremely good. Because he's not giving Trif anything to work with. Like Trif is trying like really hard to get in, but because Jmook is just planting his feet in the ground and being like, nope, absolutely not. There's not a whole lot that Trif can do about this. Honestly, this forward jump was super weird to me. Like, I'm thinking you just always short hop here. I'm almost confident. I'm positive this is a tech skill fuck up. Cause like like, cause if you short hop there, like you can see how you just get to cover everything, and then poor Peach with her like, we're just like, look at the spacing on her panic button. What does she do here? Other than, like, literally just, like, call out dash attack, what does she possibly do here? On wake up? Like, her down smash gets checked, her nair doesn't reach you, her, like, down tilt doesn't reach you. It's like, this spacing just, like, what does she possibly do about this? It's just, like, this is spacing on wake up. wake up. Because it's like, it's not enough to like get hit by anything of hers. She has to actually just like YOLO dash attack or like full forward hyper float in air for her to have anything. And if she does either of those and you're like ready for it, oh, like she's in for a world of hurt. Like that's when you can start hitting her with frickin' down airs and stuff. And it's like, not that you have to, like you just grab her, it's fine, or forward tilt her, it's fine. But like, you see what I'm getting at. It's just like it's so miserable for her to like exist in some of these spacings.
Yeah.
I know some like very clever Peach player is gonna be like, no, it's not that bad, and it's gonna be like, yeah, no, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, absolutely. In fact, you should play that spot more often. And they'll be like, yeah, and I'm like, well, this is natural selection. And once again, look at this like spacing. What did I say about like just like keeping her like to your like isolating where she lands to? Right?
Yeah.
Because if she lands in the corner and she can't move back, like what does she do?
Yeah.
Like what does she have in this position against this boost grab? She has to like guess. And then if you do any bait, then like she's so unhappy. So like this whole like landing position, like this art of making her land somewhere here and then just playing any offensive mix-up on her is like such a key concept. Because like like all of this matchup is just isolating her. So much of destroying this character is just isolating her into the positions where she can't really play effectively. Because you're just like being like, this is like, you're like, everything, like this is where my back air would have hit when I was in the air. So you have to land somewhere over here. It is not your decision. This is the only place where you can like, where she can do. So like box her here. Like everything just funnels directly into this spot. And this is the only place where we let her play.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, what does she do? The answer is die. And we're fine with that. Because, like, we then just, like, it's literally any offensive mix-up. Because, like, if he goes in forward, like, here, like, what does Peach have to do? Like, with where Peach landed, what does Peach do if she sees you dashing at her like this? She, like, she spot dodges, she panic down smashes, and then, like, what if we do any dash dance mix-up to pull away? Yeah. Then, like, we just get free hit, and then she dies, like... And then what Trif does very cleverly is he does like a slow move that has low cooldown, being like, all right, I've got this guy. And then Jmook is like, hell nah. Absolutely not. Not in a trillion years, my friend. Like, you only have one option that deals with like my standard line of play here, and I am going to call that shit out. And then Trif is like, no, I don't like this because I died. And I didn't want to die. And here we are. Yeah. Like, so, what are we... So, I think the one thing that we want to... So, things that we want to address here. Because we are at time... how quickly... Let's watch this on full speed while we close out. So, key takeaways. Here's what I want to start with. Actually, I'll pass it to you. What have we learned about Peach's positioning game?
Well, we talked about the thing on Wake Up, like positioning outside of the range, like her down smash, and like basically making it so she has to like just hard commit to like a dash attack or like a hyper float there to like challenge that. And then we were talking about like the edge guarding stuff, or just like dealing with her floating and like kind of boxing her out and like keeping yourself like to the side of that red line, I guess. And if just make it so she has to play that bad spot where she has to like land in the corner with nowhere to go, really.
Yeah.
And then I guess we also talked about that part where Jmook was kind of just standing there and Trif was trying really hard to make something happen, but Jmook just kind of like stood his ground and didn't really budge.
Yeah, Sheik doesn't take doesn't have to. Sheik doesn't have to make the first move. In floor vs floor fighting, at a distance. Needles versus turnips to stuff the turnip pole. Snipe the turnip mid-flight, etc. are all good. With shields, short hopping away from Peach off grounded turnip poles denies the float approach after. So like those are all really good. I'd also say comboing her at low percent involves out positioning or beating out her nair with intangibility or a superior disjoint, because that's also what we had like with the up air bit too. And the last thing is that recovery versus Peach involves abusing her lack of a ledge stall, lack of a ledge hop bear / nair that covers the arc above, at the ledge and above it, and punishing her and attacking her / not attacking her, when she tries to go to the ledge or cover you, attacking her for going to the edge. For going to the ledge. So I think these are all very, very, very critical. What do you think about? What are your thoughts on these? On what we have here?
Yeah, I think this is all very, very good. I think the recovery stuff is very important. That's probably something that I didn't put that much thought into, and it's kind of getting owned for the same stuff a lot. And I think that the whole thing where we broke down exactly what was happening was very helpful. And then all the positioning stuff was very helpful too. Kind of the same thing. I think I would fall in that trap of trying to directly contest, and just trade a lot in positions where I should just box her out and then play the position after where she's in a really can't do much. Yeah, I think that was all very good.
Awesome.
Very helpful.
I'm 99.9% sure. It's getting tough to with all of y'all. It's getting tough to upload every single one of these. But what I can say is that this one I think went really well. So I'm 99.9% sure that I'm uploading this one, because this was I think it was very informative, and I think that it's one last thing I want to call out: down tilt. Down tilt and crouching. No, crouching. Don't be afraid. No, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to go for them. Because
that's also big. Yeah.
And then crouching under the turnip pole. No, crouching under the turnip arc as a way to defend versus it. The other cool thing about crouching under it is you can is that you can also power shield out of that. It's kind of like Falco Laser, when it flies over you, if they do a middle height one, or if they do a middle-ish height one, and it's a middle-ish height one, as it's flying over you, you totally can just RRL, and then it'll fly back at her, and then she's so unhappy because she put so much effort, a whole 30 frames into pulling that thing. And you were just absolutely not, no value. In fact, it's mine now. So
yeah. The crouch thing is also important. I feel I think I underutilize crouch in general, but especially against Peach. So I think that'll be really helpful to keep in mind and try out.
As a concrete takeaway, I want you to try to replace in some of your matches a bunch of your forward tilts. If the opponent is in versus fast fallers, make sure they're above the down tilt knockdown percent, but try to look for anti-air down tilt more, Against floatier characters, it's less important about the percent, but like it's still kind of important. Like, you know, like it's floaty stuff. Like it's always a little more lenient on them because you can just outposition their next move. But like fast fallers, they'll just like fucking ASDI down and kill you. So you have to like respect knockdown rules because they're haters. But like, I really want you to try to replace some of your shields with crouching in those spots and add crouches into your like neutral game just as like a break for when you get to a good spot, and try to look for the anti-air down tilt as opposed to anti-air forward tilt a little more, and I think you will be really amazed at how good it is, because I think that down tilt is low-key as much as forward tilt is my baby, and it's my favorite move with her in the entire, well, other than tip-top smash, of course, but like it's my second favorite move with her. But I kind of think it's her worst tilt in this meta. And I know that's crazy to say, but I think that up tilt and down tilt have very quietly been making a case that they're actually the superior tilts, and I think that you should it's really worthwhile for your development to explore them. You know, to explore like down tilt a lot more.
It is kind of crazy. I've heard other people say that too, that like F tilt is like low key her worst tilt, which is insane. But yeah, it just up tilt and down tilt are also just so good, yeah.
It's not even like
I agree.
It's like the A tilt. The other two happen to be A plus tilts, and it's an A tilt. So it's just like this is like it's a good problem to have. We have an embarrassment of riches, but like we also, you know what, Fox is so expensive. Beating Fox and Marth and Sheik are so expensive. So we want to be using our most expensive tools. So you go get them.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, I'll see you around. I don't know where we are in terms of payment or for that or what, but yeah, we'll figure that out at some point.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you have at least two more, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay,
I think I have two more.
Okay, cool. And we'll figure out how to proceed from there. Awesome.
All right.
I'll let you go, Swiz, but take care, and we'll talk soon.
All right. See ya. Thank you.